Good afternoon, Muskegon. It's that time for Torn Into, your show for news, information, and more. It is April 7th. Let me get our co-host on, Pastor Melvin Burns. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
It's a beautiful day, and happy Good Friday to you.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
I need to say this. If you have any questions, you can go to our website or you can go to our Facebook sites, 103.7 The Beat, WUVS, or M106. You can catch it on YouTube on the 103.7 WUVS page as well. And if you're under driving and you would like to see the interview, it plays back over and over. I have to say this to you real quick. Happy Good Friday to you. The person today, we're going to do the interview a little different today. We have a person, I had a chance to talk to her, and she is fantastic. But she has the floor today, and I told her she has the the floor, and she can say what she wants.
Yes.
Her doctorates are from Harvard. She is the founder of the National Seed Project. She's been in this game a little bit, and she is just a wonderful human being. Uh, Put your hands together. It's Dr. Peggy McIntosh, but she likes to be called Peggy. So, Peggy, welcome to the show.
I'm lucky to be on your show. Thank you, Greg. Thank you,
It's Melvin.
Melvin.
Yes.
Hi, welcome.
Peggy, it's your floor. Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself and then we'll get into today's show?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in almost all white communities in New Jersey. First, Ridgewood, then Summit. But when the United States dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II, my parents were so shocked at the loss of civilian life in Japan that they became conscientious objectors, that is, people who, for reasons of conscience, don't support the military. They could be seen as treasonous in that way. But they joined a religious group called the Society of Friends,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pacifist group with a pacifist religion, and with the belief there is that of God in every person. There is that of God in every person. And they sent me to a Quaker school run by friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a pretty ridiculous set of beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But it has deeply affected me. And it led to my writing the papers on white skin privilege that I have written. And for, for your audience, many of whom went to, as I had been going to traditional public schools, um, you can see it was a shock to me at this Quaker school that in the religion course they talked about Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism. They talked about Islam, and they never got to the older of the New Testament. They didn't say a word about Christianity. So I kept thinking, well, when are they going to get to the real religion? And they never did.
Mm-hmm.
That's Quakerism for you, trying to give you a global, universal respect for people everywhere,
Mm.
no matter their belief systems. So time passed. I was an obedient student. In college, I copied down what the professors said. I didn't ever ask myself, what do I think of what they said? And I, quote, did very well, unquote. But 35, at the age of 35 or maybe 40, I changed my value system and I stopped trying to be popular and decided I would rather be useful. And from then on, it was a good choice. Um, I've just been elected to the National Women's Hall of Fame because of the lasting usefulness of the work I'm about to talk about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
8 people have been nominated for the National Women's Hall of Fame this year and have been elected. Three of them are deceased. Two of those who are deceased are a Native woman and an African American woman, and the other is a white woman. Of those remaining five, three of us are white women, and two are women of color. No, I got that wrong. Two of us are white, and the remaining three are women of color.
Okay.
So in any case, we are all deemed to have become useful, starting from where we were.
Mhm.
Starting from where we were.
Mm-hmm.
So when I advanced in teaching at first at the Brearley School in New York, and then at Trinity College in Washington, D.C., and then at University of Denver, and then at University of Durham in the United Kingdom, in England, and then at Wellesley College. I began to try to do teaching that was useful for students, but not necessarily popular with students.
Mm.
And I began to think thoughts about what I had been taught that weren't so pleasant. I began to ask what I now ask students, what's been left out?
Mhm.
What are those things that the grown-ups who are your authorities don't want to face
Mm.
in themselves and in you? And I was asking all these questions of myself. What do I not want to face in myself and around me?
Mm.
So the way I'm best known for my work on white privilege. And the way I came to see it was through seeing male privilege and learning to my astonishment that it didn't have to do with whether or not the men the men I was observing were nice people. They were very nice people,
Mm-hmm.
but they were accustomed to having doors open to them. They were white men who benefited from being born male in a culture that favored male. And I was expecting to grow up to be Mrs. somebody,
Mm.
take my husband's name,
Right.
and I was expecting I would have all male colleagues if I decided to teach in colleges, and I accepted that. They were nice men, but It came clearest to me one year at Wellesley College where I was leading a faculty seminar. My aim was to help faculty of the colleges in the Boston area, New England, to bring materials on women into the courses we were teaching. And the responses of the women were exceedingly enthusiastic. These were female teachers from many universities and colleges in a 150-mile radius. The women were very enthusiastic. One year, a woman said, you know, we're talking about putting women into the curriculum and things like senior seminars, where you go back over everything you've studied and you realize it was womanless. It's too late, he said. I would like to put these materials on women's existence during the freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And a very nice man said, well, that first year, the students are taking those introductory courses. Now, the introductory courses are laying, he said, laying the foundation blocks for knowledge. And if
They're
you
doing the important stuff for sure.
foundation blocks for knowledge, you can't put in soft stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can't put in soft stuff.
The first year too important to add that stuff, right?
Now, we have been reading many hardback books by and about women, and reading many refereed journal articles by and about women. But in the minds of this man, who was a very nice man, all the materials were soft. About 3 years later, in the same seminar, another woman said, I want the freshmen who entered the college to learn equally about men and women. And the response from another very nice man who was in the seminar every month all year and was a real ally, we felt. He said, well, see, you can't put them in at the beginning, because that freshman year, the student is choosing her major. And her major is her discipline. And if you want to get a student to think in a disciplined way, you can't put in extras.
Oh my gosh.
Extras. And none of us said anything. Not I, not the men or the women in the seminar. Called this very nice man who was explaining to us that women are extra, called him on his assumption that women, half the world's population is extra. The astonishing thing is none of us said anything. Well, a couple of days later, or maybe a couple of months later, I was thinking, well, the guy who said that, he was born of a woman. Come to think of it, everybody in the room was born of a woman. Well, come to think of it, everybody in the world is born of a woman. What has been done to his mind? He's so nice. He gave us this explanation that we're extra, and he didn't mean to be mean. But what has been done to his mind to make him think that the person who gave him birth, who birthed him, is extra?
And soft, by the way.
Soft. That's right, extra and soft. And I did, you could see it. I was at this point not blaming him for thinking we were extra. but wondering what has been done to his mind, how he's been educated socially, emotionally, intellectually to think that women are extra.
Mm.
So I was beginning to creep up on the subject, but I began to remember black women in the Boston area, in, in the Combahee River Collective, had been writing words to the effect that they were disturbed and disappointed that it was so hard for white women to take their lives seriously.
Mm.
They were disappointed and they were disturbed that they were not able to, I'm going to put it in slangy terms here, that they weren't able to get our attention. And I thought, well, these men own the curriculum because they have been favored. And maybe whites have been born into a society that favors whites as
Mm.
well as men. And what's the meaning of all this?
You bring up an interesting point because you, the curriculum was controlled by all white men, right?
It was.
Which brings us today of talking about one of the things that you have worked forever and tirelessly. It is breaking down white privilege.
Yes.
Can you start? Because I mean, this is like an 8-hour show if we could, but we got to break it down in like 32 minutes.
Okay. As my grandmother would have said, I'll pick up my skirts and run. She was from Virginia, and you could tell from that, I'll pick up my skirts and run. She was a white lady, not doing field work. But anyway, that was her idiom. Once I saw that men thought we were soft and we were extra, and that the curriculum had done this to them, I began to ask, okay, am I taking my colleagues at work seriously when they tell me what's happened to them? No, I've been thinking how terrible for them these things you go through. But I haven't been thinking how exempt for me. The same way the men haven't been thinking that they're exempt from suffering in an all-male curriculum. So I began to ask, what have I got that I didn't earn, that my colleagues of color at the Wellsville Centers for Women don't have? And my conscious mind really wouldn't give me examples. And in the end, I had to pray on. And I went to sleep one night saying, what have I got that I didn't earn that's like what the men have that they didn't earn? What do I have that I didn't earn that my colleagues at the Wellsville Centers for Women don't have because they weren't born white? And I said to my subconscious mind, or to my heart, or to whatever it is that's deepest in us, I said, I think there's a truth here, but show me. And an example swam up in the middle of the night. And because I'm an English teacher, it was very exact in its English. And I flicked on the light and I wrote it down. And then I looked at it and I said, this is trivial, but now I think it's huge. That first example was, I can, if I wish, arrange to be in the company of people of my race most of the time.
Mm.
And in the morning I looked at it again and I still thought it was trivial, but now I think it's huge.
Yep.
And night after night, these examples came up to the point where I had 46 of them.
Yeah.
And then an ally in Philadelphia condensed my list of 46 to 26. And for your listeners, I will read a few of them. They are things that my unconscious was willing to face, my conscious mind was not willing to face them. And they make my life easier. They make me able to avoid all kinds of trouble or effort or worry.
Mm.
After that one, when I'm shown about, when I'm told about our national heritage or about so-called civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is.
Mm.
I can be sure that our children will be given curricular materials that testify to the existence of our race in every course, in every school. If I want to, I can be pretty sure of finding a publisher for this piece on white privilege. I can pay with checks or credit cards or cash without having people suspect that I'm potentially unreliable or cheating.
Huh.
I can swear or dress in secondhand clothes or not answer letters without having white people attribute these choices to the bad morals of my race, the poverty of my race, or the illiteracy of my race. I'm never asked to speak for all the people of my racial group. If a traffic cop pulls me over, or if the IRS audits our tax return, I can be sure I haven't been singled out because of my race. And I could go home from most meetings of organizations that I belong to, feeling somewhat tied in, rather than isolated, out of place, unheard, outnumbered, held at a distance for fear.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have just three more I want to read for your show.
Absolutely.
I can be sure that if I need legal or medical help, my race won't work against me.
Mm-hmm.
If my day or week or year is going badly, I need not ask of each negative episode or situation whether it has racial overtones. And finally, I can choose, I can choose blemish cover or bandages in so-called flesh color
Yeah. Yeah.
and have them more or less match my skin.
Mm.
Yes.
And once I wrote down 46, of which I've just read you about 18, a voice in me, the same voice that gave me these examples, said, Peggy, you better write this down and publish it. It's probably the most important work you'll do in your life.
Mm.
And once it was published by the Wellesley Centers for Women as a working paper, I was given tremendous thanks, but for different reasons, from people of color and from whites. Whites, white women especially, said, I never thought of any of this. Thank you. And some said, and still say, 33 years later, you changed my life. But people of color, in thanking me, said, you showed me, thank you, you showed me I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So you see those thanks coming from two different directions.
Yes.
Useful in waking up white women to being favored as whites in a society that favors whites. And from people of color, from having to dwell with the accusation that they're making it up, that they're not seeing correctly, that they've made a mistake, that the world is fair to them. So it's two different forms of usefulness. And
Peggy, why do you feel that this is a conversation that people don't want to have?
well, when I was on Dr. Phil, I was thinking there were two, he asked the question, why don't white people want to discuss white privilege? I was thinking I could go down the direction of, well, we think we're good and this will make us feel guilty. Or I could go down the road of individualistic American culture, white culture, doesn't want to look at systems.
Mhm.
Systems. So I chose to go the route of, well, we were taught we were good people. And Dr. Phil didn't want to hear it. The way he had in mind, which was is also valid, completely valid. Oh, was Americans are used to seeing in terms of meritocracy that you get what you deserve and that you individually create the life you live.
Yeah.
That makes us, as a culture, white culture in the United States, very untrained in seeing systems at work, in which
Yeah.
large
Yeah.
groups of people have different outcomes for their lives because of systemic impediments, prejudices,
Hmm.
barriers. So I didn't give Dr. Phil what he wanted that day, but I'm very glad that he had a panel on white privilege. And he was the one who said, and whites don't want to talk about this. Actually, no, he didn't say that. He said, today I'm going to talk about something that nobody wants to talk about. Well, my experience has been, yes, people of color do want to talk about it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Pastor Burns.
Yeah. So many questions. Peggy,
Then the question comes up, do I want, because I have white privilege, it's up to me to decide, do I want to use some of my privilege to weaken the system that gave it to me?
yeah.
Through policies, through practices, through publicity. One of the first things I did was decide when I'm asked to talk about white privilege for a public audience, I will co-present a person of color to share the time, the money, and the publicity. But also, it altered who I give money to. It altered what I read. It altered a whole lot of it. I wrote a list of 16 things. You can find them in my book, in this book on privilege. Let's see. Um,
There you go.
on privilege, fraudulence, and teaching as learning. And the first 6 essays are all about forms of white privilege, including the one that has to do with white privilege, color, and crime. Because I'm not saying anything here you don't know. But the police are very likely to pull me over for speeding. I do speed, and then let me off because they see I'm a white woman with a soft voice, and my papers are in order, and in their unconscious minds, they have been taught to see me as innocent of my actual crime of speeding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dr. Pastor Burns.
Peggy, there's a very popular book out a couple of years ago about white privilege. And reading your works, am I right to say that you don't necessarily equate it with racism like some?
I'm sorry, Melvin, I couldn't hear what
Let
you
me try it
said.
again.
I'm quite deaf.
When in your writing, when you talk about white privilege, you seem to not necessarily equate it with racism, as some other writers of white privilege do. You talk about people, I guess, not immediately hearing that term and thinking they're racist.
It's one of the, white privilege is one of the forms that racism takes.
Okay.
But I do not call it white supremacy. Most white privilege is experienced completely unconsciously by whites.
Hmm.
The word white supremacy implies there's some intention to be on top, on control. I
Hmm.
would say that's very strong in whites, but at the subconscious level. So I do not talk about white privilege in the same breath with white supremacy. I see them as white privilege is accumulated habits of favoring whites, which have been internalized in people of color in many, many colonial situations. They've internalized, and also in this culture, many people of color have internalized. It makes sense for a white to be in control, for the teachers in the elementary schools to be white, and so on. But white supremacy is really Nazi.
Hmm.
It's very conscious. Denigration, sorry for the word, has a bad root, but it's denigration of people of color and insistence that whites will keep control. And that's the dangerous thing about parent groups now trying to squash the discussions of slavery and anti-Semitism
Right.
and, and misogyny in schools. The
Hmm.
parents trying to squash them, getting teachers to teach a curriculum that's quite dishonest.
How do you explain to people that don't look like to me that they automatically, like you said, they have this advantage over us where every day we have to think about when we walk out that when we wake up,
Yeah,
there's things that we have to automatically think about. Where people that don't look like me don't have to have those discussions or think about those things.
that's right. You're you're completely right. Now, as a woman, I have I wake with some worries about what will happen to women in this world during the day. Um, I have many friends who have suffered hands of male supremacists, but it's a huge problem that all over the world, people of color have to wake up in the morning and wonder about the remains of colonialism and what that's going to do to them today.
Can you break that down because people just don't understand that colonialism of this country and what it has done to this country.
Well, we started as a, a land with indigenous people. We were colonized by England, especially. We thought that people already living here, we were taught, I think, as colonists, that the people really already living here were subhuman, and that they needed our, well, actually, I'm talking more about attitudes of whites in the Philippines, that they needed our management. No, the, the scene here was more like this. We need the land that those subhuman people are on, and we will
Hmm.
have to get rid of them. That's the shape of the book. So that's what my forebears,
That naturally called subhuman.
subhuman. I'm sorry?
I said naturally called subhuman. And they came to this country and naturally saw people that didn't look like them as naturally subhuman.
Whereas
Uh,
some of my greatest teachers have been Native, Indigenous Americans. Brenda Flies with Fox, a Cherokee woman, has been one of my greatest teachers. She was in among the people who were decimated or destroyed or disrespected whose wisdom was never understood. They were seen as subhuman.
Mm. Pastor Burns.
Peggy, okay, hear me. Going back to your list, which I thought was amazing. You have one on here. It says, "I can criticize our government and talk about how much I fear its policies and behavior uh, without being seen as a cultural outsider." I think that one has been magnified the last 6, 8 years, hasn't it?
Once again, because of my deafness, I couldn't hear
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm trying to make sure I don't get the echo. No. You have on your list, you say I can criticize government and talk about how much I fear its policies and behavior without it being a cultural outsider.
Still can't hear.
What he said was is that I can criticize our government and talk about how much I fear about its policies and behavior without being seen as a cultural outsider.
You're absolutely right. And that is one of the
Yeah.
examples.
Do you think that has grown even more in the past few years?
To be taken seriously when I criticize our government is a white privilege. And it's a privilege that so far most people of color don't have. However, I do want to remind everyone we did have the wisdom to elect Barack Obama, a black man, as our president. So it isn't as though the society is lost. And he is a hero in American history. So is Michelle, his wife, as increasing the respect that the majority of Americans paid black people.
Mm.
But the minority at that point got, as you know, dangerously threatened and had been making big trouble because of feeling the fear that they may no longer be in charge.
Now, Peggy, the second thing he said was, do you think it's got worse, that the situation has got worse over the last several years?
It was much better under Barack Obama and has gotten much worse since he left the presidency.
Peggy, let me ask you a question. You touched on it a little bit. Do you fear that white America is scared or intimidated that the fact that in say now or in a couple of years that they will no longer be number one, they will be number two culturally?
I think at the unconscious level, that is the fear. And those who want power play on fear.
Wow, wow. Your article is how can I want to get on this right now before we because we got a couple minutes, but we got a lot of time. But you got so much stuff here that people need to read that can really help them. That people need to read. How can people read your papers, your books, and all that kind of stuff?
Go online to, and this is one word, National Seed Project. SEED is spelled SEED, stands for Seeking Educational Equity and Diversity. But online, the homepage is nationalseedproject.org. Go on there and then look under News and Views. You will find two things. One is a list of resources about 5 of my papers. No, actually, I think it's 4 of my papers are listed there. The one I've been reading from today is a short paper, just 3 pages long. It's called White Privilege, colon, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that metaphor because I came to see white privilege as a, an invisible knapsack that I was given at birth, filled with resources I can tap into, uh, like food, clothing, shelter. Uh, uh, I didn't write cash, but I wrote code books, guidebooks, maps, letters of introduction, and blank checks. Now that's an exaggeration, but that's what my subconscious said to me when I wrote it down. Everything I read from that list is what my subconscious dictated to me. So for other white people, I would say my examples aren't about you. They're only about me. It's an autobiographical list. But you can ask your deepest self, the one that evaded a lot of the education that we were given,
Hmm.
even the so-called excellent education. You can ask your deepest self. You can pray on it. What is the ground of my security in life that I'm not worried every day when I get up what will happen to me because of my skin? What is the ground of that comparative um, comfort? I'm not saying all white people are comfortable. Many of us are poor, and that will impinge on our worries as we wake up in the morning.
Hmm.
It may be, where is the next meal coming from? Will I eat today? But what we need to do to see ourselves within systems is to go deep into the soul and ask questions day after day about who and where we are and what's happened to us.
Hmm.
And that may make us both aware of our disadvantages and aware of our advantages in more clear ways than we were taught to do. So I believe every single one of us in the United States has a combination of unearned advantage that we didn't create and can't be blamed for, and unearned disadvantage that we didn't ask for and aren't our fault. And that putting together that arithmetic, the unearned advantages and unearned disadvantages, may stand a chance of humanizing us to use some of our power to share power and to empathize with those who have disadvantage so that we may put some of our goods, our useful aids in their service as well as
Pe-
ourselves.
Peggy, you just started addressing it. It says one of the things you said. The question is, having described white privilege, what will I do to end it?
Yeah. Well, in my book, I have a list of 16 things I decided to do, or I found I was doing it, and they include visiting the police in my town to protest their harassment of African Americans and immigrants in my town. I visited two police departments in my town. And in both cases, the police, when I was complaining about their harassment of black teenagers, said something like this: "Ma'am, we're just trying to protect you."
Mm.
And the first time I heard that in the police department, I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. The second time I heard it, a couple of years later, when I went to a different police department, And I heard the same thing. Ma'am, we're just trying to protect you. I said, oh, no, you're not. This is a protection racket. You are creating the bad race relations that you claim to be protecting me from. Yeah.
That's good.
But see, you can get yourself to kind of find your voice in this. I organized for the racial integration of my neighborhood, and I co-present, as I mentioned, with on white skin privilege with people of color who share the time and the money and the attention. That is the publicity. It's hard to get PR departments to write an equal length paragraph for a person of color and me a white when they're advertising an event. Their subconscious minds, if they are white, often produce a brochure or a poster in which white gets more attention. Then I have pressured supermarkets to stop the food of ethnic groups that they'd like to exclude from their customer base. So they say, well, nah, we don't have any call for collards. Well, I learned to say, well, there might be a call for them if they knew you had them. If you stopped them, you might change and expand your customer base.
Mm-hmm.
Then doing homework on promoting and disseminating the words and the works of people who don't have privilege. So my reading has become much more diverse than it was 33 years ago when I wrote these papers. Then this has to do with my Cherokee mentor. Understanding how much I had to learn from people whom I was taught to overlook or fear or avoid for reasons of race, class, religion, nationality, or sexual orientation. The people who don't fit into whiteness are the ones who are my good teachers. Then making presentations and organizing programs in which I am aware and honest about how much I have learned from people of color. I learned a great deal from a black woman I was team teaching with when she said to me one day, I wouldn't want to be white if you paid me $5 million. And she loved shopping. That was a very big amount. And she said this is about 1976. And that money would go a long way to them.
Mm-hmm.
And she meant it. I wouldn't want to be white if you paid me $5 million. It made me ask, what about whiteness is anathema to her? That no amount of money would buy her into wanting to be white. That's what I mean by learning from people of color. Then intervening in and then ending conversations that put down vulnerable groups of any kind. And then this one with my husband, choosing to live on less money so our family can give more money toward social justice for individuals who are in need. And being gradually more willing to use the term white supremacy and white superiority in discussing the assumptions and the outcomes of white privilege. For you on this program, I've distinguished between the two, but sometimes white privilege comes so close to conscious white taking of control that I've gradually agreed with myself to use the phrase white supremacy than I used to. I call that spending down the bank account of white privilege. And it feels, if you begin to spend down the bank account, it feels so good to stop being hated. It feels so good. You may not be thanked for becoming unaware of white, but you but the degree of hatred you might feel from those who suffered under you um, will lessen, and you will feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Addressing white privilege made me able to talk with all kinds of people I'd been taught to look down on, and as you know, learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wasting my life on with just one tiny fraction of the world's population. And because of writing white privilege now led to colonialization, I have friends all over the world now. That's from the Seed Project too. Teachers who take in their schools the facilitation of the Seed Seminar find they have friends all over the school, and the friendships were formed by the mutual respect and solidarity, affiliation of the people in the Seed Seminar.
Now you talked about the seed. You're the one, the founder, if not of the seed, the National Seed Project. Talk about the National Seed Project.
Teachers in a school decide they would like to talk about how to make the curriculum and the school atmosphere and the teaching methods make every child feel they belong.
Mm.
So a seed seminar is led by a teacher in a school. It meets every month for a year, and teachers from any discipline in any part of the school. In one case, the seed seminar was led by the school cook. The group uses serial testimony, which is you sit in a circle and you speak in a given order around the circle for maybe 1 minute on the topic that the facilitator has raised, and you speak not about your opinions, but about your experience. And in a serial testimony, and you go around in a circle, and people speak about their experience of a certain thing that the facilitator has proposed as a topic. There's no interrupting. There is no argumentation, because there's, from each speaker, no reference to what anybody else has said. You speak from your experience, and you don't piggyback off anybody else. And you don't turn it into an argument, because argument is usually your opinion about something. Your experience is yours. So in a serial testimony group in the Seed Seminar, which by the way is funded by the school principal, so people can't say, oh, it's an out group.
Mm-hmm.
The principal has to fund the training, the scene, which is done by wonderful teachers who led Seed Seminars usually in a 1 week period on the campus of some college or school. And then everybody who has come from their own state and their own school goes back. And from September to June leads a monthly seminar on these questions. What are we teaching and why? And how can we make it so inclusive in the content and the teaching methods that the whole school climate feels the effect of students belonging to the groups within the school.
Mm-hmm.
So the classroom becomes a place of belonging, but so does the atmosphere, the climate of the school. And the Seed Seminar program began back in 1986, and it's still going on. The summer before last, which is the last one I'm sure about, more than 200 teachers from all over the country and other countries beyond the U.S. Were trained to lead seminars in their schools on making the curriculum, wherever they are, more inclusive and the teaching methods more inclusive. And serial testimony is a fantastic teaching method because you can ask a whole class of 20 people. So, what was your experience reading the homework?
Mm.
And have each one speak for, let's say, 30 seconds or 1 minute, but no piggybacking on what anyone else has said.
Okay.
The class appears to be open with each other. The class members stop fearing they're going to make a fool of themselves. The teacher no longer has right answers for everything. It's a divine way of teaching, and SEED specializes in it.
Mm.
You can learn about the SEED project by going on to National Seed Project or and it'll give you some samples of what people have said. One black woman in the seminar, in the school system in Arlington, Virginia, said nobody puts it all together like SEED.
We're sitting up with 3 minutes left, and I gotta say this, Peggy, before we run out of time, that you're welcome to come back on this show because you got so much information that we didn't get a chance to talk about. But let me ask this last question, and how important is it right now for people to get involved because they're trying to take away things out of history books like slavery? Um, how important is it that people get involved because history is history?
It's very important. I wouldn't order anybody to start a SEED seminar, but I think it can heal some of the wounds that we are feeling from the reactionary right. You have in a SEED seminar people from all over a school and all the casts and classes. Uh, they get lateral, made welcoming for every single person, from every single voice. And I think it made sense to me when students asked if they could have a SEED seminar of their own.
Hmm.
And 1 year, school principals who really shouldn't be in SEED seminars because they wield too much power. 1 year in New Jersey, school principals asked to have a seminar just for themselves. A seminar can have 8 people in it, can have 20, it shouldn't go much above 25, but it gives support to everybody in the room, uh, support for their humanity, for their soul, their heart, their intellect. And it doesn't matter what kind of salary they're pulling down or casual wages or whatever they're making. Those those differences disappear when you're making a SEED seminar out of listening to the experience of each other. It is a fabulous kind of education, and the kids love it in school. They like it. Every one school in New York City, the students began to write to the teachers. Every time you do something interesting in class, you say you got it from your SEED seminar. So we want one of those. So they were given a SEED seminar for themselves, a student SEED seminar meeting monthly, talking about all these things that are sometimes abstractly dealt with. Uh, Diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. Uh, and when that group of seniors came to the time when they give a gift to the school, instead of giving a plaque or a thank you, they said, we want a compulsory SEED day where everybody has to attend, and we will teach about the things that the curriculum leaves out. and they got it. The head of the school, in her wisdom, said, yes, you can have a compulsory seed day. And they made me come and sit in the, what used to be the headmistress's office and teach the faculty about white privilege.
All right. Peggy, we're gonna have you back. That's an hour. Thank you so much. That's Peggy McIntosh, Pastor Melvin C. Burns, Gregory Roberts. An hour with. Listen, you have a guaranteed seat to come back anytime you want. Listen, it's Good Friday. Listen, go out, sow a seed in somebody's life. You never know who you're gonna touch. Listen, take care. Good Friday.